Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. I am outside the main branch of the Clearwater Public Library. I think in 2025, with everything that's going on in the world, making sure to support your local libraries, it's a big deal. The number of people who have library cards, like that goes into how much funding some of these public libraries receive, and just show that it is another government-funded operation that doesn't need to make a profit because it is a public good. And one of the reasons I stopped here was to pick up four books, either by or about former Disney chairman and CEO Michael Eisner, as I continue my run of having a podcast episode about his time as the chairman and CEO at Disney each and every month. I already know what the one is coming up for January, and it is going to take a lot of research. I'm going to need all four of these books to get that one done. It may even end up being a two-parter because there is a lot I want to discuss in the January episode. But as we finish Vlogmas, I did have a video, vlog, or podcast each and every day for the month of December. I want to thank everybody who liked, commented, and of course, most importantly, subscribed to the YouTube channel over the course of the month, because we are continuing to try to grow this thing. We've been doing it for almost 4 years now, and earlier this year, just last month, we reached our 200th episode of the podcast, and we are just moving forward, going to continue to bring you content, not just about the theme parks, but travel in general. And hopefully, while we're doing it, we're creating an inclusive community. So proud of what we were able to accomplish in December. Yes, it was a lot of holiday decorations, both inside the theme parks, at the resorts, and elsewhere. But I was also able to do things like go to the Orlando Informer meetup, and got to tell you if I thought that was worth it for you. And there will be 2 podcasts coming up in January where my co-host Maz and I will discuss even more in depth whether we think those Orlando Informer meetups are worth the price. Spoiler alert, we think they're worth the price. And I just wanted to sort of wrap up the month, wrap up the year, looking forward and looking back. This was a tough year for me because our 16-year-old cat Lily passed away in March, and then in October we adopted the still not 1-year-old Roisin, and it was difficult to lose Lily, who has been, she was just a rock for me for so many years. And now we've been introduced to what it's like to have a kitten in the house again, which is kind of weird, kind of strange, definitely an adjustment. But all 3 of our cats, Lily, Cassie, and Roisin, just absolute love for them. It was a big year for me as a Dodgers fan because it was the first year the Dodgers had Shohei Ohtani. Not only was he the NL MVP, not only was he the first player to ever enter the 50-50 club for 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in a season. Not only did he lead the Dodgers to a World Series championship, but the day he hit his 50th home run and stole his 50th base, I was there. It was in Miami. Tickets I had for months, so it was just a coincidence. We weren't trying to chase history. History just kind of came to us, so that was a really big bright spot this year. I think of the Dodgers regular season games, I think I watched like 160 of the 162 games. So it was a year where, and of course all the playoff games, it was a year where I really did pay attention. I enjoyed having the Dodgers game on almost every night. Even if I was at Disney sometimes, I was pulling up the game on my phone. I remember a few times watching Shohei Homer when I was in front of Spaceship Earth or on the People Mover, and that was really, really exciting. Big year for the podcast. Like I said, we hit 200 episodes. We're about to hit 4 years of being a podcast. I know I throw this statistic out a lot, but 90% of podcasts quit after 3 episodes. Of the 200,000 that make it past 3 episodes, 90% of them quit before 20 episodes. Well, we are in the low 200s right now, and as you can tell by all this research that I have here, we're not planning on stopping anytime soon. This is going to be a big year for us, so do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, have yourselves a happy new year. If you're gonna have resolutions, and I know I'm still trying to figure out what my resolutions are gonna be for the year, but I know I'm gonna have them both with this channel, with my outside life. I have not been happy with my physical conditioning since the pandemic, for example. I was running regularly. I was walking, you know, for about 2 hours a night, almost every night at that time. And then, you know, the gyms closed and it became hard. So I do think that I'm going to have to figure out something to get back to the physical conditioning that I pride myself on having almost all the time. I mean, I'm used to marathons and half marathons, and it has been difficult in this, I don't want to say post-pandemic world, the pandemic's not done, but in this world, since we had the gym closures and things like that, it has been hard to get back into a rhythm, and I am really going to try to do that. We have some big goals for 2025, and I'm going to be working each and every day on achieving those goals. I hope that you set some goals for yourself as well, and anything done in the pursuit of a goal, even if you don't achieve that goal, is positive energy that you have put out into the world. And I know it's hard to quit on New Year's, it's easy to quit on New Year's resolutions. It's hard to stick with them. But if you try to make slight changes in your routines, instead of looking at it as changes to your life, like if you just try to add some small things here and there that are going to be productive, that's a lot easier than saying, I'm going to run 7 miles a day for the entire year, because that's unsustainable. But it is sustainable to say, I'm going to get out of the house at least 3 nights a week, and if it means I'm just going to walk a couple miles while I have my headphones on, or I'm going to try to get back into running slowly on the treadmill, any of those things can work. I just want all of us to have the best 2025s possible, and knowing the state of the world, it's going to be kind of difficult. Anyway, brand new episode of the podcast coming up on Thursday. I am going to be delving all into Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, because Big Thunder Mountain at Walt Disney World is going down for a a refurbishment. We hope not a retheme. On Sunday is the last day that you're going to be able to ride it until 2026. So we're going to talk about all 4 versions of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad throughout the world. We're going to talk about the story behind the ride, sort of that theming that Disney does for their attractions, even the ones that don't have intellectual properties attached to them. Then the week after that, I am going to be talking to Natalie Keller Reinert, who is the author of the book Must Be This Tall, which is about theme park employees at a mythical theme park that is definitely based, at least loosely, on Walt Disney World. She is a former Disney World cast member, so she definitely knows the ins and outs of working at Disney. It is a really, really great book. I will have her on in 2 weeks. Then it will be back-to-back episodes with Maz about the Orlando Informer meetup in December. And then it's the end of January. It's January 30th, and the last episode of the month will be my big Michael Eisner contribution for the month. So it's already starting to feel like we're blowing through January. But thank you so much for joining me, like I said, all month, all these 4 years, and every like, every comment, every subscription means a lot. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great, safe New Year.